بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم ألهمنا مراشد أمورنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. The last we spoke, mention was made that how the devil hates the sound of the Adhan, and how the hadith described the work or the words that come out from the devil at the time when the Adhan is taking place, where he tries to make himself majhul, involved in something else in which he cannot hear the Adhan. So one of the filthiest words, most disgraceful words, lahu duratun, was mentioned, which some have explained that really he will give out the sound of wind coming out. And some have mentioned that that word was to show that the level or the value of any conversation, any talk, any action at the time of the Adhan, its value is the value of a durat, of a dirty wind that is coming out from the behind. On the other side, if the Adhan is given and an individual pays a little attention to it, again and again we mentioned that the meaning of Islah, of Ihsan, of Tasawwuf, was that a man doesn't have to do something over and above what can fit in the normal works of the day. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala has put such dhikrs at different times, that if the individual just gives a little attention to that dhikr, that dhikr itself takes him to the highest levels. Mujaddid al-Faisani rahimullah said, after looking at every tariq of wusul ilallahi tabaraka wa ta'ala, reaching Allah, he said, I did not find anything so easy, so unique, so enjoyable and so fast, like the tariq that was taught in the Sunnah. So this is one example, that the amount of dhikr that an individual can make during the day, which will be prescribed by different mashayikh. And one is he comes on to what is known as a masnoon dhikr. This masnoon dhikr is like a sheikh says to the murid, 5 times a day I want you to make dhikr of Allah. So he says, what dhikr? So he says, I want you to reply to the Adhan. So normally that will be like, that's not something great. I want like a unique dhikr where I sit in one corner, pay attention. So easy the dhikr was going to be, that you have to start getting ready for the salah. And the muazzin, once he starts, it's like loud to say, wake up. All that the murid, the salik has to say is, this is my dhikr. I was told by my sheikh, who's the greatest of all shuyukh, that إِذَا سَمِعْتُمُ الْمُؤَذِّن, as soon as you will hear the muazzin, that's your dhikr now. Because normally a salik will say, I forget to make my dhikr. He said, I became so busy during the day, that 100,000 times, or 100 times, or 50 times, I forgot about it. But this is such a dhikr that even if you forget, the muazzin so loudly is reminding you. And in many countries, it's not one muazzin reminding, but they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 muazzans. And from all 10, the law is you only have to reply to one. Ulama have mentioned, the first one you reply to, then the work is done. You made your dhikr now. So the individual was given 5 dhikrs for the day, or 5 slots. In the 5 slots, if you can make your dhikr, then where the small dhikr will take an individual, it ends off in this year. One word is, dakhal al-jannah, he will get his paradise. Another word is, my intercession will become wajib for him. إِذَا سَمِعْتُمُ الْمُؤَذِّن, when you will hear the muazzin. So the individual must understand, now this is my wazifa. I asked the sheikh, what dhikr must I make? Something unique. So this is that dhikr that's given. When you will hear the muazzin, فَقُولُوا مِثْلَ مَا يَقُولُوا, then say exactly what he is saying. Another narration will explain it in detail, that how you will say what he is saying. When he will say Allahu Akbar, then the individual must say Allahu Akbar, and that's what you know. But another narration will first explain what happens as soon as the muaddin starts. When normally you'll say when the dhikr majlis starts, then the most that they will say, okay, put off the lights, because some people like to make dhikr when it's dark. So as soon as they start making dhikr, say put off the lights. What happens when the muaddin dhikr starts? So what's the fida at that time? In one narration, it has been mentioned, إِذَا نَادَى الْمُنَادِي لِلصَّلَاةِ, as soon as the muaddin starts the adhan, فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ السَّمَاءِ, the doors of the heavens open up. وَاسْتُجِيبَ الدُّعَى, and the time for the acceptance of dua starts. فَمَنْ نَزَلَ بِهِ كَرْبٌ أَوْ شِدَّةٌ, any individual who is going through some difficulty, some problem, فَلْيَتَحَيَّنْ الْمُنَادِيَ, then he should seek the time when the person is calling. Or فَلْيَتَحَيَّنْ الْمُنَادَى, he should look for the adhan. إِذَا كَبَّرَ كَبَّرَ, when the muaddin will say Allahu Akbar, he will reply Allahu Akbar. This Allahu Akbar is like no normal dhikr. This is at the time when the doors have already been opened. And now you are going to be making your dua just after this. Before this is your dhikr. He will say Allahu Akbar, the individual will reply. Then he will say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, the individual will reply. He will say Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, the individual will reply. He will say Hayya ala salah, the individual will say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And this we all know. The issue is how much are we saying it. This La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, ulama have explained that why here you say this. They say first, what's the meaning of Hayya? Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah. Hayya means that with your heart and your face now turn towards that. Ala al-falah, they give a nice explanation. Mullah al-Qari rahimullah, his explanation, he said when the muaddin says Hayya ala al-falah, that turn in the direction of success. He says as though the muaddin is saying to you, Hayya iqbil biwajhika, turn towards ala al-huda ajilan, that immediate guidance is being given out. Immediate. Because salah is immediate. Wal falahi ajilan. And if you come on to immediate guidance, then there is the hope that you're going to get permanent success. Ajilan, your end will be unique. So come immediately. So he says one way the person could have said, I am coming right now. He says, but as though the individual is saying, أَنَّ هَذَا أَمْرٌ عَظِيمٌ وَخَطَمٌ جَسِيمٌ, that you are inviting me to something which is very, very great. It is that very amanat that was presented to the heavens and the earth. They were scared to carry this. فَكَيْفَ أَحْمِلُهَا مَعَ ضُعْفِي, so how will I be able to manage this amanat? That I am going to rush towards falah, standing in front of Allah to attain eternal success. How will I manage to carry this amanat when I am so weak, وَتَشَتُّتِ أَحْوَالِي, and my matters are all broken up? He says, وَلَكِنْ, however, if Allah has to give me tawfiq, إِذَا وَفَّقَنِي اللَّهِ بِحَوْلِهِ وَقُوَّتِهِ, if Allah has to give me the strength, لَعَلِّي أَقُومُ بِهَا, perhaps then I will carry this amanat. Just that لَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. If an individual says that I don't know why I don't get concentration in my salah, then all he has to do now is say, when I'm saying that لَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ, I must just say it with some feeling. That maybe every time I'm just responding as though I'm coming. Even if I say La hawla, I don't even know what it means. So one time I'll just say it with this feeling, Allah, I really want to perform the salah. But from my own side, I'm so weak. And then he goes for that salah. Then the muaddin finishes, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. So Nabi SAW at that time mentioned that when the muaddin says La ilaha illallah, then he also replies La ilaha illallah. Then this one word came. which many a time people forget this wording. When we hear about the issue about reply to the adhan, he said, min qalbihi. When he replies from his heart, min qalbihi. Mullah Ali Qari says that min qalbihi obviously is not only that last sentence, that he says the last la ilaha illallah from his heart. He says most likely it means the whole adhan. When he replies from his heart, dakhal al-jannah, he has entered into paradise already. This one dhikr majlis has guaranteed this man entry into paradise. At the moment he has not yet made durood, he has not yet read the dua after the adhan. Just on replying to the exact words of the muazzin, but with one condition, min qalbihi. It was a dhikr majlis of only 2 minutes. The Shaykh was saying to him, how many Allahu Akbars I want from you? 4 at the beginning, 2 at the ending. The murid said, can I remember this? He said, don't worry of remembering it. The muazzin will remind you. Because a lot of people like to make dhikr with jamaat. They say, then I'll make my dhikr. He said, very good. The muazzin will remind you. You don't have to worry about what's the numbers. When he will say it, you're going to say the same thing. Only one place when he will say, hayya ala salah, you will say, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Then the Shaykh will ask the murid, is it difficult? The murid will say, this is very easy dhikr. Then the Shaykh says, I want one thing from you only. Normally in the khanqas, at present times it is explained that in the past people will get 120,000 times dhikrullah. Then in today's era, mashayikh say that if a person makes 100 times la ilaha illallah, but with concentration, then he says, I think you'll get the benefit of 120,000 times. Just 100 times. Then we entered the era today where a person says 100 times to concentrate, very hard. But I only manage normally la ilaha illallah 10 times. Then my concentration goes. So in between they put ash'ar. Then the person complains, the ash'ar makes it longer. I can't concentrate 5 minutes, now it's gone to 10 minutes. So there'll always be, because man's tabiyat and nature, as the zamana goes, always gets weaker, weaker, weaker. But look at the sunnah. The sunnah gave such a dhikr that was going to be unique in the best of eras. And it was going to remain easy till the end of eras. Because you'll never find an era where a person can really say that to give jawab to the adhan, my head pains. You won't find it. The only thing is negligence. Otherwise, to give this jawab, this is the shorter dhikr any shaykh can ever give. But this zikr itself, where the shaykh zikr, he can't say after that, you do this here, dakhal al-jannah, and you got jannah. This is one shaykh, one murabbi, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said, you do this zikr of mine. The muazzin will call, he's your reminder. And if you hear the first adhan and you say, I'm busy now, don't worry, another adhan is coming, then hit it on the second adhan. You miss the second adhan, third adhan is coming. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7 adhans. Said one of them, just join. The muazzin will give his adhan, his voice is going to be nice, it's nice to listen. And you just think, this is my dhikr quota for this period. During the day I got 5 adhans. Just in one reply, Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, dakhal al-jannah, he got his paradise. 5 times a day if he makes this. If he adds anything more to this here, then it is called nur ala nur. That already you got paradise. Now you want to make your paradise even more unique. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إِذَا سَمِعْتُمُ الْمُؤَذِّنِ, when you will hear the muazzin, then say exactly as he said, with that explanation. ثُمَّ صَلُّوا عَلَيَّ, at the end of this adhan, then one time make any durood upon me. Which normally in the last, la ilaha illallah, then the person will just say Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And once he said Muhammadur Rasulullah, it's natural on the tongue sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's no need for another durood now. So the durood came very easy also. Because he just said Muhammadur Rasulullah, and naturally it comes sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ صَلَّى عَلَيَّ صَلَاةً, he says, if you will read this one time upon me, that's sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sallallahu alayhi biha ashran, Almighty Allah immediately will turn His attention towards you 10 times. Salawat means special attention. So that's finished. ثُمَّ سَلُوا اللَّهَ لِي الْوَسِيلَةِ. Then he said, then you make a dua for me. This is a very unique business, this one. Just the adhan itself was dakhal al-Jannah. Said at the end of the adhan, send one time durood upon me, Allah will turn 10 attentions towards you. He said, then you make one dua for me. And the dua was taught also. Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wati at-tamma was-salati al-qa'ima ati Muhammadan al-wasila. That wasila. He said, then ask for me al-wasila. Wasila means that unique connection. We normally explain that unique connection is such a place Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will reach, which we call normally Maqam-e-Mahmud, the most noble place. When he will stand on that place, he will be able to do what no man, no creation has ever done, will ever do. To intercede in front of Almighty Allah at a time when Allah's Jalal will be on its most unique level, where everyone who had closeness to Almighty Allah will say, at the moment, this is not the time to go front. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at that time also will be able to go front, in front of the Jalal of Almighty Allah. Speaking of it, he said, فَإِنَّهَا مَنْزِلَةٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ. This is a place in paradise, لَا تَنْبَغِي إِلَّا لِعَبْدٍ مِّنْ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ, which is not appropriate, which will not be except for one servant from all the servants of Allah. Look at that wording, which will not be appropriate. وَأَرْجُو أَنْ أَكُونَ أَنَا هُوَ. And I have hope that I will be that servant. فَمَنْ سَأَلَ لِي الْوَسِيلَةِ. Whoever will ask that Allah must give me this unique connection, حَلَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الشَّفَاعَةِ. My intercession will become lazim for him, upon him, meaning it will fall upon him. Ulama have explained this in what a unique manner, that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam already explained that I am getting that position. So if he is already going to get it, لا تنبغي إلا لعبد من عباد الله وأرجو أن أكون أنا هو. If he is already going to get it, normally you will say this is a dua for something that's already attained. Dua of something that's already given. When a Nabi says, I have hope, when a Nabi says perhaps, it means it's already done. So when it's already done, the question comes, then why must man make dua for it? When it's already done, why do we make dua for something that's already there? Rather you can say, make dua that when I have that position, I don't forget you. That's a dua like. I don't forget you. Here you said, you make dua, I get the position. In a normal business, if a person hasn't yet got a certain job that he is looking for, but he knows if I get that job, then my salary from 5,000 will increase immediately to 500,000. So he tells the people in his family, you'll make dua for me, that I get that position. So someone says to him, I'll make the dua, but what will I get if I make the dua? Because you're going to get 500,000, but then I must get something, because my dua is helping. The most a man will say, Jazakallah for your dua. What else is going to do? Will he ever say, okay, after I get that 500,000, then from it I'll make sure every month you get some pouch. If he says that, the individual immediately start making dua. And every 5 minutes phone, did you get it? Did you get it? Because now I'm getting something. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not like this individual who doesn't know if I'm getting that job. He already said, I'm getting that position. So now when he offered it like a gift. That after I get it, however, I will make shukr to everyone who helped me to get it. Whereas I already got it. So it will be seen who pushed me up to that position. And if your dua is there, then I will say, because of you I got it. I got it. Because to get that amount, you need so many du'as, so it will never be known now whose dua was the final push. So he said, no, all of you. My entire ummah helped me to get this position. So obviously I have to pay back. So this is why it was said, that you ask for it, I guarantee you I will then intercede for you. Because your name will be there, that so many times he gave you this position. So one is just the words of the Adhan, Dakhal al-Jannah. Then a durood after the adhan gets you 10 times the tawajjuh, the special attention of Almighty Allah. Then this one dua then puts you in a position that not did Allah's Nabi do for you, but so to say the ummati did for the Nabi of Allah, which is like a very big thing. Then the narration comes. Already the heavens had opened up. Ustujib dua, the time of dua being accepted had come. Whoever has any difficulty, any pareshani, let him search for the time of the adhan. So the adhan takes place, then he ended with durood, then he read this dua. At the ending, ثُمَّ يَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلْ حَاجَتَهُ. Now is his time to ask Allah what he wants. A lot of times people forget that part. Even if they read Allahumma rabba hadhihi da'wati tamma, they forget that now the time of dua has come. So now while you're walking to the masjid or you're already in the masjid, just for 1 minute. Normally when people go for Hajj, we tell them, have some du'as which are called your set du'as. Like that whenever you find that occasion where this is the time when du'as are there, then I'll just repeat my du'as and I'll continue with something else, whatever I'm involved in. I'm reading Quran, I just waited, I made my dua. Because the doors are open. And so much of attention, 10 special attentions of Allah at the moment is on the individual. And now he already made a dua for wasila, maqam mahmud, already intercession, dakhal al-jannah, everything is given to him. Now is the time, you got any pareshani, now you put it front and you make dua. What a dhikr majlis this is. Because normally when a dhikr majlis takes place, it starts with Allah's name, Allah, 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 Allah. And the voice normally of the man saying it must be nice. Some people say, I fall asleep in the dhikr majlis, you say make it loud. And if you make it loud, some ulama might say, but it's bid'ah to make loud. But in adhan, no ikhtilaf at all. The muazzin will be loud. The muazzin's voice will be unique. It will be so loud, even if you're far away, you don't have to be in the gathering. From far away, say join. All you have to do is repeat with me. The birds would make zikr with Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam. The mountains would move. This ummah was told, you will make the zikr with jamaat 5 times a day. It will be a short zikr. As your body will be moving to the masjid, that is your jawab of the body, I'm going for the salah. And some people think that this is the main thing, like going for the salah, so why worry about the jawab, I'm going. But it was not that jawab, it was that you need to make zikr of Allah 5 times a day. And if you can make that zikr, you will see everything will start happening for you. So the individual pays attention, min qalbihi. So the Shaykh says, just make zikr with tawajjuh, little concentration. The hadith said, min qalbihi, from your heart, take out these words. Soon as you finish already, dakhal al-jannah, you got your certificate. Thereafter, think of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you got 10 special attentions of Almighty Allah. Then make one dua and you got intercession lazim for you. And then make your duas. At the end of a dhikr majlis, the Shaykh lifts up his hand. And he says, let's make dua at the moment. Yeah, it's told you make your dua. Because the doors have opened, wastujib dua, and the dua has been accepted already. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala grant us this. فَلْيَتَحَيَّنْ, let him look for the times. May Allah grant us this. That when the adhan goes, at least one adhan, and immediately the individual says, hey, my dhikr time has come. And it's not a 10-minute thing, it's not a 20-minute thing. Normally our ulama like that the muazzin should not pull the adhan too long also. Because after 5 minutes then the people start losing interest. So he gives a shorter adhan, it gives the people that you can get Jannah quicker also. That 2 minutes your adhan is over, in 2 minutes the certificate of Jannah was given. Just this word, min qalbihi. From his heart he must give the jawab to the adhan. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala grant us all this. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.